Welcome to Egg Shorts. I'm Kalen. With me is my father, Brandon, and I'm struggling with this question, so I'm just going to ask it. What is the greatest difficulty, challenge, struggle, however you want to say it, with the ranch in terms of, is it logistics? Is it finances? Is it travel? In terms of actually making it operate, what's one of the more difficult parts of it?
It's financial. I mean,
Yeah.
the financial part is everything. Um, Travel is one thing because I do have to do a fair amount of traveling to make this work.
Right.
But when you do that, it costs money. Um, yeah, the logistical part of it is not that bad because most of what we can do, I can do alone if I have to. When your mom's with me, oh my God, it's things are way easier. I mean,
Yeah.
it's another set of hands, another set of eyes. Um, that's just the way it is. But um, you can do all of this work, and if you don't have a market or you're losing money, you can only lose money so long. And notoriously, uh, ag markets are a loss, and then you'll have a good year and you'll recoup that, and you go, okay, we're doing okay now, and doing okay for us is breaking even. And that's
Right.
not just us. I mean, that's most people in agriculture. It's about breaking even, sustaining yourself like we were, homestead days, um, in just a whole different way. So the logistics sometimes there's things I cannot do alone. I mean, it's just, I mean, it wouldn't work. Uh, Anytime we're gathering, branding. I mean, I could gather by myself. I've done that. It's a pain. It takes
Yeah,
it takes a lot
it takes
longer.
longer because you have
Yeah.
to move them. It's like a big ball, like the
Right.
momentum. It takes forever to get going, but once you do, then it starts to go. But it's just, yeah, it's a pain more than
Well,
anything.
think about pouring a table full of water that would hold, a flat table, and you've got half the table with water dispersed everywhere. And now
Yeah,
you're just going to take your hands with a squeegee, a single hand, and you're going to move that water and try
yeah,
and get it closer
that's a good
together
way.
and then push it towards a corner.
Yeah,
That's what doing that alone is. It's like that anyway, but when you're alone, you're over on one side on a flank, and then
you
okay,
start
these
to squirt the
cows,
other way.
they're starting to go the other way, so you got to go pull them around. Yeah, so then sometimes it's easier to just take a small bunch, move them, grab another bunch and move them, and they'll see other cows gathered, and they'll tend to move towards it. I mean, that's just you know stockmanship. But sometimes it's when you're on a pasture that's you know 3 sections or 4 sections or 5 sections, it still takes time to do that. Having a fresh horse is always a good thing too.
Which goes back to the question: finances, right? You said that's what is the most difficult thing because you're spending money and then you're not making it, but then you're
Right.
spending it with some more. And
Well, and budgeting is a big deal because you get with your cattle, you get paid once a year,
yeah,
generally.
yeah,
If all you're doing is selling a calf crop, your calf crop is what sustains you or is supposed to sustain you for the following year. Um, but um, there are some things in there where after you preg test and you got some dry cows and you can't keep them, or you're not going to keep them, you're not going to feed them out. They're older cows, they go to town. You, okay, you're getting rid of some older cows, but those were producers that are no longer producing. So there
right.
goes, you might get a little bit of a bump from them. They're not worth what a younger cow would be, or a couple more calves out of them. So yeah, you get a little bit of a bump there, but it's a net loss. So
And then I
yeah,
guess
the
the
whole
the
thing's
next thing
tough.
too is like the actual the actioning of moving the numbers and keeping track of that. That's probably really hard too, right? Because that's not the fun part at all.
It's
It's sitting behind a
well,
computer or a tablet and like writing
yeah,
it down.
God, I just hate that part. And
Yeah,
I do it, but because the older I'm getting, the value I see in staying on top of it, where I would do some active avoidance, like, oh, I can justify, I got to go get this done. It's
yeah.
outside.
More
I'll do
important.
that later. No, I'll get to that. And then the next thing you know, you catching up and you're like, oh God, now I'm spending more time behind this stupid
Yeah.
computer or on this, sheet of paper than I should have been doing. And it's just easier to keep up on top of it.
All right. That's the answer. The thing that's the most difficult about ranching, finances.